What's going on, Tamers? East here. So the BT21's World's Convergence set for the Digimon Card Game hosts a ton of new cards, but among them are some cards that are from a seldomly talked about series called Appmon. The Appmon series itself was a little bit different from the traditional Digimon franchises, as it had a unique focus on smartphones and mobile apps as its mainstays for the series. Ahead of their release though, Bandai did give us a little bit of information on these new systems, and so in this video I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at how the Appmon cards play the game, the new link and app fusion mechanics, and help answer a couple of basic questions you might encounter playing either with or against this deck in your own games. And so with that, let's dive into the world of Appmon and the Digimon Card Game. So let's first talk about the link mechanic, what it is, and also how to do it. In Digimon, you typically only use the cards to evolve over top of each other to create stronger Digimon. Or in the case of the cross-art cards, use smaller cards to create a bigger Digimon, kind of like a Megazord. The Appmon cards aren't super different from that actually, where instead of like stacking Digimon or putting them in a stack together, you can do what's called linking, by putting them sideways underneath one of your Digimon on the board. Keep in mind, there's a couple of rules about this, and we'll talk about them now. Alright, so how do we link? In order to link two cards together, most of the information is actually going to come from the card that is actually being used as the link being put underneath the Digimon on the board. And if you take a look at this card's little box here above the name, it'll tell you some information about the link. So for example, you can only link, in the case of the Navimon here, to a Digimon who has the Appmon trait, and also the link costs 1 memory. So what you do is you would pay the memory here, and then if the Appmon is on board, it must be in this case, in order to do the link, you will just put them underneath here for the cost, and then it gains the effect in the link box as well, and the plus DP alongside at the top here. So in this case, the Navimon would give our Gachimon plus 2000, making it a 4000 DP Digimon, and the effect Piercing. Keep in mind that the card that's being linked to does not use its own link effect down here. You only get the link effect from the card that's actually being put sideways. Just make sure that when you are doing links, you are meeting the correct requirements for the card that you're linking to. So let's go into some more fine-grained detail about linking Digimon together. So what's the actual order of operations whenever you do link a Digimon? So first off, you're going to, as always, pay the cost first, and then you can take the link card and put it underneath the Digimon sideways like so. And then you can use any when linking effects or any link effects from the Digimon themselves. Those activate at the same time, so you can resolve those however you'd like. As I said before, you also gain the DP plus from the linked card as well, so in this case the 4000 from the Navimon, and from there you can continue the turn as normal. Another question you might have is can I just keep linking cards like this and just keep gaining effects this way? And the answer is unfortunately no, asterisk. So every Digimon has a link limit, and the link limit for every Digimon in the game is 1, so you can at most only link 1 Digimon together. However, there are some cards that do increase this limit, one of those being the secret rare Gaiamon that was revealed not too long ago. Gaiamon has the effect of link plus 1 as one of his effects, meaning he can actually link 2 Digimon at the same time. Keep in mind though that linking 1 Digimon does not mean that it's stuck there forever and that you can't get rid of it. If you do want to link another card to this Digimon, you can actually do so by trashing the linked card here and then relinking by paying the link cost again. In this way, you can cycle through link cards over the course of 1 Digimon. Something else to keep in mind is that whenever you digivolve a Digimon who actually has a linked card, the new Digimon must also meet the requirements for the linked Digimon. So in this case, because Greymon is not an Appmon type Digimon, the link card would just be trashed. The Appmon cards are pretty locked into the link mechanics themselves, and trying to go outside of that might be a little bit tough. While we're on the topic of digivolving and sources, another really interesting quirk of the link mechanic is that the linked card is not actually considered part of the stack itself, so it can't be trashed through source stripping or de-digivolving effects. For example, my opponent were to de-digivolve my Globemon here 2 stages, the top 2 cards would come off and the linked card remains. The same is true if they were to go and source strip my stack here and get rid of, let's say, the bottom 2 sources. The Watchmon would stay, but the Do-Gachimon or Do-Gachimon and the Gachimon itself would be removed. And so you can think of the linked card here as not attached to any specific card in the stack, but rather attached to the stack as a whole. In the same vein, they also do not count as Digivolution cards or a number of Digivolution cards in your stack as well. So for example, if your opponent has a Hexablaumon and you need X amount of sources to be able to suspend, this card does not count towards that. Alright, so now we've learned quite a bit about the link mechanic, let's take a look at the other effect that the Appmon cards bring along with them, which is app fusion. So let's imagine we have a Gossipmon here on the board and we want to link that with our Sociamon here for a 2 cost. So we pay the 2 cost for the Sociamon's link, and then we can just link him as normal and then use the link effect, giving something minus 2k. And then we can evolve these 2 cards into another card that has these 2 cards' names in their App Fusion rule box. So if we take a look at the Charismon here, he says App Fusion, Sociamon, and Gossipmon. And what we do is we take the card that is first linked and put that on top of the actual Digimon itself, and then evolve that into the Charismon using App Fusion. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Make sure that you do pay the App Fusion cost. In this case, it's 0, so it's a free evolution. And that's really all App Fusion is in a nutshell. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Keep in mind that the cards that you do use for App Fusion must be a Digimon and its linked card like this, or you can have it in the other position like so. And also make sure that whenever you do the App Fusion itself, the card that is linked becomes the topmost card, the Digimon becomes the bottommost card, and then you evolve over top of that. Keep in mind, these cards cannot be like separate Digimon on the field, or like one card can't be in the hand. They have to both be the Digimon and its linked piece. For some of you keen-eye viewers out there, you probably noticed that there are some of the App Fusion cards that have 3 Digimon listed as their App Fusion requirements. And you're probably wondering, well, East, if I can only link one card to one Digimon, how can I achieve 3? And the answer is, for cards like this, you actually have to have 2 of the 3 cards that are named. So there's a bit of flexibility in this case where you can have the Gachmon and a Navimon, or a Navimon and a Tweetmon, or Gachmon and a Tweetmon. So in this case, let's imagine that you have the Gachmon here, and for 1 cost, you link the Navimon like so. After that, you can then App Fusion the Navimon and the Gachmon into the Dogachmon like this for cost 0. So just remember that whenever you have the 3 Digimon requirement for the App Fusion, you only have to have 2 out of the 3. And so to wrap things up, maybe to answer a couple of last minute questions you may have, I know we talked a little bit before about having a Digimon who is linked like this, and what happens when you evolve into a Digimon that's not an Appmon card, or one that doesn't fit the link requirements. In that case, the link card would be trashed. And you might be asking, well, what happens if I get de-Digivolved into a Digimon who is not fulfilling the link requirements? In this case, the same thing would happen. At that time, the link card would also be trashed. It really is just a matter of making sure the topmost Digimon always fits the link requirements. One last thing that doesn't really revolve around the link mechanics or the App Fusion mechanic at all is maybe just what these extra evolution cards are for some of the Appmon cards. And it seems like Appmon, again, I'm not a lore master, so someone in the comments, please give me the lowdown on why this is the case, but it seems like while Digimon focus on like the Rookie, Champion, Ultimate, Mega stages, the Appmon cards have like a different set of lines where they are Standard, Super, which is like the Champion equivalent, Ultimate or Ult on the cards, which is like the Ultimate equivalent, and then God, which is the case of Gaiamon, who is like the Mega equivalent. I think all this boils down to just giving the Appmon cards a way to always fit together in their own archetype, even if the colors for the regular evolutions don't match up. Where you can see that some of these cards, I mean, the cards' colors themselves are kind of all over the place. And so even if you don't have like a red or green level 3, you can evolve from any standard Appmon card for 3 costs as well into the Dogachmon. This means you can be really flexible with your deck building and pretty much include any card of the Appmon archetype. And so with that, I think we can bring this little Appmon primer to a close. I'm sure there's likely some questions that I didn't touch on that folks might have, and if you do have some, put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. Also, anybody cooking up any good ideas for this deck? The cards themselves seem really fun, and I'm really interested in like the new way to play, so if anybody's got some really good ideas, let me know down there as well. Anyways folks, I'm gonna get out of here. Before you get out of here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.